Hi guys, I'm Avita and I'm back with another video, and today I wanted to share with you a video because I just got a new camera and I want to try it out. And two, I have something I would like to share with you. Today's video is going to be like audiobook recommendations. I haven't done one of these in a long time. I don't know if I have a specific audio recommendations video, but yeah, today's video is that. So I don't know what the quality is like. I have a feeling it's going to be showing my flaws a little more than the iPhone did, but let's not dwell too much on that. As I said, I want to talk about my favorite audios, and I have a lot. I'm an audio person. I get through like over half of my reading over a month is definitely audio that I listen to, and it's just because it's easier to fit audiobooks in during the day than sometimes it can be fitting in normal reading. I don't read insanely fast, so whenever I have some time where I don't have to focus on a lot of things, I listen to an audiobook. So that's why I'll do chores, that's when I'll go for walks, that's when I drive to and from work. When I'm at work, I sometimes listen depending on what I'm doing. So I get through a lot of audio during the days. And because of that, I also have a lot of opinions about audiobooks and quality and books that I enjoy. If you have been on my channel for a while, you probably know my favorite audiobook narrator is James Masters, so I'm not going to focus too much on him today because I feel like I've talked enough about him on my channel that I don't feel like it's necessary. But just know that he's my favorite narrator, and I really enjoy the books that he narrates a lot, and yeah. So that was the first one. But now I'm going to be talking about some audiobooks that I've been listening to over the past year. I think, or maybe a little more than a year, depending on when I did read it, but sort of recently. The first narrator is Avita J. She is part narrator of the Fitz and Fool trilogy by Hobb. And I really enjoyed the parts that she narrated. She also narrated some of the books in the Chronicles, and she just has a way of telling us, like narrating the stories that really makes me listen and makes me get sucked in. So I'm super excited that she's the one who narrated The Unspoken Name, which is a new book that I'm excited to read, that I will probably get to sometime in May. That's what I'm feeling like, because right now I'm focusing on Book to Best of F Awards stuff. So yeah, definitely recommend her. If you come across her as a narrator, definitely try it out and see if it isn't something to do. Another narrator or audiobook series that I really enjoy, I think I've talked about her quite often, but that is Zara Ramm, who narrates the Chronicles of St. Mary's books. The Chronicles of St. Mary's is a 10-book long series right now. The 11th book is coming out in one of the next months, and I'm really looking forward to that. But it definitely makes the experience more fun with her narrating. I can just try and find an example. Do I have any of the books? Let's see.
This is Audible. Audible Studios presents an argumentation of historians, Book 9 of the Chronicles of St. Mary series. Written by Jodi, narrated by Zara.
So you can get a sort of...
When we put together the long and short of it, I thought I'd write an introduction to each story, telling how and why it came about, what was the thinking behind it, and the circumstances under which it was written. I personally thought this brief glimpse into my thought process would frighten the living daylights out of normal, intelligent, charming people, i.e. my readers, but not so. The intros proved to be nearly as popular as the stories themselves.
Yeah, so like this is not spoiling anything, it's an author's note. So yeah, I guess you can get a sense of her narrating. I'm sorry if it's difficult to catch on with the narrator. I listened to a 2.0 speed, and this is how it sounds to me. It sounds completely normal. if I put this lower the speed, it will sound like, I don't know. I have sort of a vision of the Zootropolis characters, the way that they're speaking, like that. So that is a narrator that I really enjoy. I think, I think she just puts so much personality into our main character, Max. So yeah. Another narrator book in specific that I would recommend is definitely The Pet Sematary, that you listen to this. It was such a good book, and it was definitely made even better by a good audiobook. Like, the audiobook is narrated by Michael C. Hall. I didn't know who this was, I just knew that some people said he was famous. I'm terrible with names when it comes to audios, but the narrator is the one who plays Dexter on the TV show Dexter. So if you like him.
Part 1. The Pet Cemetery. Jesus said to them, "Our friend Lazarus sleeps, but I go that I may awake him out of his sleep." Then the disciples looked at each other, and some smiled because they did not know Jesus had spoken in a figure. "Lord, if he sleeps, he shall do well." So then Jesus spoke to them more plainly. "Lazarus is dead, yes. Nevertheless, let us go to him." John's Gospel. Paraphrase. 1. Louis Creed, who had lost his father at 3 and who had never known a grandfather, never expected to find a father as he entered his middle age. But that was exactly what happened. Although he called this man a friend, as a grown man must do when he finds the man who should have been his father relatively late in life. He met this man on the evening he and his wife and his 2 children moved into the big white frame house in Ludlow. Winston Churchill moved in with them. Church was his daughter.
I just really enjoy the way that he tells the story. Like, the further you get into the story, the more the edge of and the suspense you feel, like the way that he explains everything. Like, to me, it was just a phenomenal audio, and I would definitely recommend it. Yeah. So that is another one. Another audio that I listened to last year that I really, really enjoyed was 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This one is narrated by 3 narrators. It has Julia Whelan, Robin Miles, and Alma Cuervo, I think.
Makes me think I'm about to get fired. But then she says, "Evelyn specifically requested you." Me? This is the second time in the span of 5 minutes that I've been shocked that someone was interested in speaking to me. I need to work on my confidence. Suffice to say, it's taken a beating recently, although my pretend was ever really soaring. To be honest, that was my reaction too. Frankie says. Now, I'll be honest. I'm a little offended. Although, obviously, I can see where she's coming from. I've been at Avita for less than a year, mostly doing puff pieces. Before that, I was blogging for events and culture site that...
Also just a great book overall, but the audio experience made it so much more fun. I like the fact that they had 3 narrators, like, for the different point of views. I think that works really well in audios when they do that. Yeah, the next I'm going to be recommending is Different Seasons by Stephen King, because I've talked about it before, but the narrator sounds a little bit like Morgan Freeman. So
Also match, or incompetent lawyers or police, straight nuts or bad luck. They read the scripture, but you can see a different scripture in their faces. Most cons are lows, or no good to themselves or anyone else. And their worst luck was that their mothers carried them to term. In all my years at Shawshank, there have been less than 10 men whom I believed when they told me they were innocent. Andy Dufresne was one of them. Although I only became convinced of his innocence over a period of years, if I had been on the jury that heard his case in Portland Superior Court over 6 stormy weeks in 1947 and 48, I would have voted to convict too. It was one hell of a case, all right, one of those juicy ones.
I mean, if you think about the fact that the movie, then Red, the character who is telling the story, is Morgan Freeman, and this story is told by Red's character. So it works really well that the narrator sounds so much like it's him narrating it, because it just gives such a good feeling of the book, and it's just a really, really phenomenal story. So even just for that specific story, I would recommend it, because that was a totally a 5 stars. I really, really enjoy that book. And if you're curious, the the narrator is called Frank Muller. Frank Muller. It's not with an umlaut, so I guess it's Frank Muller. The next one I'm going to be recommending is Sadie by Courtney Summers. I'm not the biggest fan of full cast productions because I have a tendency, sometimes I feel like narrators can mumble, like when it's, the thing is with normal audiobooks like the ones that I've shown you today, they speak slower and more clearly on purpose so that everyone can be able to hear what they're saying, to be able to understand and comprehend what they're saying. But in a full cast narration, they don't have the same rules, I guess, so they are just speaking as if they would if they were on a movie set or something like that. So they're acting it in a different way, which means that sometimes if they whisper, if they mumble, it can be really difficult, especially for me as a non-English native speaker, to catch everything, and it can be a little bit difficult to get into. But I think with Sadie it really worked. I didn't have any problems with that one, so that's why I recommend it. Also because there's a lot of people who really enjoys full cast narration, so I definitely will recommend it for that. So yeah. The last and final one I want to talk about today is The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter. The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss. This one is narrated by Kate Redding, who also narrates the Memoirs of Lady Trent series, the one with the dragons. And she does a really good job in narrating. It's really...
Audio presents The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss. Read by Kate Redding.
Come on.
For Ophelia, who read it first. Here be monsters. Mary. I don't think that's the right epigraph for the book. Catherine. Then you write the bloody thing. Honestly, I don't know why I agreed to do this. Mary. Because we need money. Catherine. As usual. Chapter 1. The Girl in the Mirror. Mary Jekyll stared down at her mother's coffin. I am the resurrection and the life, saith the Lord. The rain had started again. Not a proper rain, but the dreary interminable drizzle that meant spring in London. Put up your umbrella, my dear, or you'll get wet, said Mrs. Poole. Mary put up her umbrella, without much caring whether she would get wet or not. There they all were, standing by a rectangular hole in the ground, in the grey churchyard of St. Marylebone. Reverend.
Yeah, that was the last one I wanted to recommend today. I hope that I introduced you to some audiobooks that you maybe was thinking about getting to, or maybe you were in a rut and didn't know what audiobook to pick up next. Maybe you want to try some audiobooks but didn't know where to start. I think any of these could be good places to start. I think the narrator really gives you, makes the experience of reading it better or listening to it better, so it enhances the reading experience completely. There's a lot of narrators that are great that you just get used to listening to, and that you just feel like that the book is great and the story is great. But there's also narrators that can completely ruin an audiobook. For me, one of those narrators has been the one who narrates the Raven Boys. I really detested that one. Yeah, and sometimes, depending on who it is, like some books has a lot of accents, and there are just some that is easier for me to enjoy than others, especially if I feel like the narrator is overdoing the accent on purpose, or like, yeah. So for that reason, I didn't really enjoy the Raven Boys, for instance, in audio. But yeah, another narrator that I would always recommend is Barney Turpin. The most recent ones I've read from her, I haven't enjoyed the books as much, but the audio experience made the book better. One of those is like Tunnel of Bones, Victoria Schwab's middle grade series. I forgot the first one, but Barney Turpin narrates it, and she does a fine job of that. And who else? Yeah, I also listened to Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson, which is narrated by Barney Turpin, and she made that experience a lot better. So I am definitely often going for books that is also narrated by some of those that I've discovered I really enjoy. So yeah, I hope that this helped you in choosing some books for yourself and in trying to discover it. I hope that you could hear the voices a little bit, or you can definitely adjust the speed to what fits with you. But I've just become so used to it that it's not something that bothers me at all. I don't listen to anything higher than 2-point speed, even though on Audible I am able to. The reasons for that is actually because Storytel and Overdrive doesn't go higher than 2.0, and I don't want to get used to like a 2.5 speed or faster and then have to listen to the majority in 2.0 speed and be annoyed that it goes too slow. So I'm just settling on 2.0 until there is changes of the different apps. We'll see when that happens, if that happens, but yeah. I hope you enjoyed this one. Definitely let me know in the comments down below if you have any audiobook suggestions for me that you think I would enjoy, also based on the sort of books that I have been enjoying and talked about today. I would always like to know. And by the end here, I just want to end this video. This is just to let you know why I enjoy James Masters so much. So this is
When people come to the only professional wizard in the Chicago phone book for help, they're one of two things: desperate or smart. Very rarely are they both. The smart ones come to me because they know I can help. The desperate ones because they don't know anyone else who can. With a smart client, the meeting is brief and pleasant. Someone has lost the engagement ring that was a family heirloom and has been told of a man who can find lost things. Such people engage my services, preferably in cash. I do the job, and everyone's happy. Desperate clients, on the other hand, can pull all sorts of ridiculous nonsense. They lie to me about the kind of trouble they've got themselves into, or try to pass me a check and she'll bounce like a basketball. Occasionally, they demand that I prove my powers by telling them what their problem is before they even shake my hand, in which case, the problem is that they're idiots. My newest client wanted something different, though. He wanted me to meet him in the woods. This did not make me feel optimistic that he would be one of the smart ones. Woods being in short supply in Chicago, I had to drive all the way up to the northern half of Wisconsin to get a decent timber. That took me about 6 hours, given that my car, while valiant and bold, is also a Volkswagen Beetle, made around the same time flower children were big. By the time I got there and had...
yeah, that was just a little snippet of my favorite narrator, James Masters. To anyone who's unfamiliar, it's a guy who plays It's a guy who plays Spike on Buffy. On Buffy, he has an English accent he doesn't in the Dresden Files. So at first, when I heard that, I was completely surprised. But yeah, this was that. This is all I had for you today. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye!